Today, we make history, introducing the highly anticipated 2026 Harley-Davidson 11F.
The first time you see the 2026 Harley-Davidson 11F coming toward you, it feels like the air gets punched out of your lungs. There's this sudden heaviness, like something powerful just entered the atmosphere and everything else had to make space for it. The camera shakes a little as that wide, futuristic LED blade sweeps through the frame, slicing through the shadows like a spotlight announcing a legend. And in that exact second, before you even hear the engine, before you touch the bars, before you even walk around it, you already know this is not a normal Harley. This is Harley-Davidson stepping into a new era with a machine that looks like it's been carved out of American muscle and sci-fi imagination. Asterisk. The 11F rolls in with this bold, aggressive, unmistakably modern stance. It's lower than you expect, wider than you expect, meaner than you expect. The silhouette is this beautiful collision between cruiser posture and performance aggression. Like a Dyna met a futuristic dragster and decided to merge DNA, the tank is sharp and sculpted, with deep cuts along the edges that catch every bit of light, making it look like a piece of metal that's been disciplined into perfection. The seat flows behind it in a single sweeping line that locks your posture into a confident, dominant riding position. You can feel the bike daring you to take control. Asterisk when the sun hits the 11F. The paint isn't just color, it's attitude. Harley went wild with layered metallic finishes for this model, giving the surface this chameleon-like depth. Move just a little to the left and it looks like molten steel. Shift to the right and you get this dark, bruised purple tone glowing from underneath. It's hypnotic, almost unsettling in the best way, because the bike feels alive even when it's off. The new wheels are absolute art large. Muscular spokes with these razor-sharp cutouts that spin like weapon blades when the bike moves. And that front end, my God, the fork design blends classic inverted engineering with a futuristic shield-like cover that makes the bike look 10 years ahead of its time. Asterisk, but nothing hits you harder than when the engine comes alive. The new high-output Milwaukee V-series engine built specifically for the 11F platform fires up with a low, violent growl. It's a deeper tone than the wide glide or fat bob. It's heavier, hungrier. You can feel those first few notes in your ribs. When you tap the throttle, the whole bike jolts forward with this mechanical eagerness, the exhaust barking out a sound that feels like a mix between a performance cruiser and a muscle car. It's pure American thunder, refined just enough to feel modern but still raw enough to make every hair on your arms stand up. Asterisk walk around it, and you start noticing all the obsessive build details. The plastics are minimal. Harley has gone back to exposing metal, but with cleaner edges and tighter tolerances than ever before. The swingarm looks like something pulled off a concept bike, carved thick and strong, giving the rear end this heavy-duty stance that makes the tire look even wider. That rear tire, absolute monster. It grips the pavement like it's claiming territory. The exhaust system is tucked sleekly along the side, sweeping upward with a dark ceramic finish instead of chrome, giving it that stealth warrior personality. Every weld is clean, every cable hidden, every contour sculpted with precision. Asterisk, and then there's the lighting. This bike doesn't glow. It strikes. The rear LED pattern is a thin horizontal arc that lights up like a blade of neon fire when you brake. The indicators are micro-sized but sharp and bright, integrated into the design so smoothly you almost don't see them until they flash. The headlamp is a single wide bar of white light, no round classic housing this time. It feels modern, fearless, almost rebellious against Harley's own history. But that's the whole point of the 11F. It's not here to look back. It's here to kick the doors in and show what the next generation of American muscle looks like. Asterisk. You can't talk about the 11F without touching the heritage baked into its bones. Even though it feels futuristic, it carries the DNA of performance Harleys, the drag-inspired stance from the old V-Rod, the muscular frame presence of the Softail breakout, the rebellious soul of the Dyna era. But this time, it's cleaner, sharper, more evolved. Harley didn't redesign the future by erasing the past, they reimagined it. They took everything riders loved about Harley power and attitude, then injected it with modern engineering, better balance, tighter suspension, and a silhouette that looks capable of outrunning its own shadow. Asterisk, and let's talk craftsmanship, because this is where the 11F becomes emotional. You can see the human effort in the hand-polished metals, the perfect alignment of panels, the seat stitching tight enough to make luxury brands jealous. The tank badge isn't just stamped on, it's embedded into the metal, floating slightly above the surface like a signature. Every contour tells you someone shaped it intentionally, someone stood over it making sure the reflection hits exactly the right way. When you touch the bike, you don't feel plastic or compromise. You feel pride. You feel hours of human hands guiding machinery into art. Asterisk, that's why filming this bike becomes an experience by itself. When you start the slow motion rolling shots, the camera picks up every vibration of the engine, every flicker of light across the paint. The wheels turn like rotating knives. The exhaust pulses like an angry heartbeat. You get those close-up shots, the shifter moving, the suspension compressing, the front light blazing into the lens, and suddenly the footage looks like a movie trailer. Add the music, let it drop as the rev climbs, let that engine roar echo under the track, and the whole moment becomes cinematic. People watching feel it. They don't just see the bike, they experience it through the screen asterisk, and then comes the riding portion. When you throw your leg over the 11F, the seat holds you low and aggressive. The bars sit at the perfect reach, not too high, not too pulled back, but commanding. Twist the throttle and the bike leaps forward like it's been waiting for this moment all day. The torque hits instantly, pushing you into the seat with a shockwave of acceleration. The wide front stance gives you stability even at higher speeds, and the suspension feels tight, controlled, responsive. You glide through corners smoother than you expect a muscle cruiser to allow, the bike holding its line with confidence. On the straights, the engine pulls like a charging bull, steady, powerful. Endless asterisk cars move aside as if they sense the presence. People turn to look even before they hear it. The bike feels like a character, a living thing that wants to run. There's this emotional rush that kicks in somewhere between the wind hitting your chest and the engine note vibrating up your spine. You look down at the tank and all you see is that sharp line stretching toward the horizon, telling you to go further, faster, louder. Asterisk by the time you roll back to your filming spot, the sun dipping low behind you, the pipes ticking quietly as they cool. It doesn't feel like you're reviewing a motorcycle anymore. It feels like you've just finished spending time with a masterpiece. The 2026 Harley-Davidson 11F stands there in the fading light like a futuristic warrior resting after battle, silent, confident, powerful. Asterisk. And that's when you end the video with the same awe you started with. Because bikes like this don't come around often. Machines like this deserve to be seen, celebrated, admired. So you look into the camera and say, if you love bikes with soul, muscle, and pure cinematic presence, hit that subscribe button. Because the 11F is just the beginning and you don't want to miss what's coming next.